Hello world, we are back for another Volcanion video. Uh, Following up on the last video, I do want to say I heard back from the guy that made the list. We did post it in the last video as an importable deck list in the comments in the description, and it'll be up on this one as well, and in all future videos where I use the list or change the list, you'll be able to see it. Couple of things that he noted about the last video and my play there and my commentary. First off, there had been a typo in the list that I got from him. He did actually play the 3 Volcanion babies, not just 2. So that was a big error. Second, he actually didn't play Olympia because he had so many other ways of switching, and the big focus of his deck is on switching without having to rely on a supporter or on other items. You just use the float stones. That's a big thing, and that sort of tied into the biggest, one of the major mistakes that I was making and implementing this list and playing it, that I wasn't focused enough on making sure that retreat was easy and free or cheap. There were a couple of times that I held on to some cards that I should have played. There was a time that I didn't drop a Shaymin, or that I dropped a Shaymin instead of a Hoopa off of a Sky Field being countered, and he just wanted to make sure I understood, and I'm learning now that being able to do those fast switches is really the key to this deck's performance. So I wanted to share that with you guys as well. There are a couple of other issues that he noted about the order that I played some things in, just trying to sort of thin your deck more than you might otherwise do. So these are things that I'm going to be working on, and we'll see if I've improved in today's video. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started. And okay, looking, and we're playing against Psychic and Colorless, so could very well be the Mega Mewtwo that we're seeing represented in the card back and the coin. That certainly goes along with the theme as well. And we will give them some extra cards to go with their first turn. Okay. Click done. And we get 2 Volcanions and a Shaymin. So we'll go ahead and bench both of the Volcanion EXs. Obviously not benching the Shaymin. And just starting off, we can see pretty easily that we're going to play a Float Stone, we're going to play the Max Elixir, and he is playing an Espeon GX tech, so it's a Mega Mewtwo with probably a 1-1 Espeon GX line. I think that's a pretty common way to go. And honestly, I haven't played against that much with Volcanion, so we'll see how it goes. I think that we should be in okay shape as long as we don't leave something up there for him to destroy. Basically, we want to be taking the knockouts when we have fully energized Volcanions in play. So we will attach Floatstone to the active, and nothing else we can do to thin the deck out further before playing the Max Elixir, so we'll go ahead. It does hit. And I will also manually attach to the benched Volcanion. Obviously, we'd really like to have that attached to a baby Volcanion, but now if we do get one more Max Elixir that hits, we'll do okay. At this point, we can't really do anything else, so we'll bench the Shaymin and get 4 extra cards. And okay, so what do we have here? We have the Sky Field. Debating whether or not we want to play that. I guess I will go for playing it just in case we magically end up with a whole slew of Pokemon. It's not a big deal to try to counter his stadiums if he gets them. And now we'll play the Trainers Mail, and definitely we'll grab the Max Elixir. Get that, and hopefully it hits, and then we'll end. Actually, we'll steam up, and it does hit. So we are going to be able to take the first attack here, which is definitely a good thing. We'll do one steam up. So now we're hitting for 160, and we will end. Okay, we hit a baby Volcanion, Professor's Letter, 2 more energies, and an Ultra Ball. So we'll bench the baby. We will go ahead, steam up again, and I'm going to play the Professor's Letter. Grab 2 energies. We're going to use the Ultra Ball to discard those energies. Thin out what we have here, and we'll grab a Hoopa with this Ultra Ball. So we're now hitting for 190. We'll be able to steam up one more time and take a KO on the Espeon once we get our Hoopa in place and use him to grab another Shaymin and 2 more Volcanion-EXs. Bench both Volcanion-EXs, and we get a concession. That's fun. We were going to get the quick KO, and we'd probably be able to follow it up fairly quickly. We were tearing through our deck very quickly, so we would have hit a Pokemon Ranger soon, probably. So we might have been able to go back-to-back attack. If not, we would have powered up the another Volcanion while we waited, probably retreating into the baby Volcanion to help him, to have him help us set up. So with that, we'll go ahead and apparently win our Dusk Noir line. That's fun. I kind of was disappointed when I saw this was the line. There's another Dusk Noir line that includes the ability to change the damage. I guess I should pull it up in case you're... So this one lets you move damage counters on your own Pokemon. There's another one from, I think, an older set that lets you actually move damage counters on your opponent as an ability. I think is only legal in Legacy. That's the only place that I've seen it. But it's certainly a fun concept that gives you a lot of power. So adding one of those to my collection was appealing, but didn't get to do that. Anyway, we're not here to talk about random stuff. We're here to look at more Volcanion. So we'll do that as soon as we get another match. I don't know if you can really consider that a big success of it against Mega Mewtwo, and there wasn't really any play, but hey, them conceding is still a win. Okay, so this looks like it's probably going to be a mirror match. We're happy going first. We're going to try not to leave an EX in the active, and we're going to get some extra cards as well. That's nice. Okay, so we'll hit done, and we like starting the baby Volcanion. I will note that I've played a number of mirror matches with this list, and I have yet to lose one, so I'm probably jinxing myself, but that's okay. We get one extra card. Of course, we'll take it. It's another energy, and we get another baby Volcanion to go with it. So we both have a good deck. We have similar decks. I think here we're going to Ultra Ball and go ahead and get our Hoopa and get some of the Shaymin stuff going on before we play any of these other cards. We'll just get rid of 2 energies. We'll want them in the discard anyway. Get Hoopa and double check our deck. So we have both Shaymin in here, all 3 baby Volcanions. We had 3 energy that were out so far. Looks like we may have prized 1 Max Elixir. We've got access to all 3 Float Stones. I guess we prized 1 of our 12 energies. And 1 via Seeker. And no, we used an Ultra Ball. So 1 Trainers Mail. Nope, Trainers Mail down there. So 1 energy. Ooh, 2 Sky Field. That's not going to matter since we're in a mirror match. Okay. Nothing important. So, and we'll bench the Hoopa, do our standard grabbing of 2 Volcanions and a Shaymin. And then we'll, of course, bench the 2 Volcanions and then run through all of our cards so that we can maximize our pull. We're going to manually, we'll manually attach up here. And so which is more important to you? Hitting a Trainer's Mail or hitting the Max Elixirs? I think the mail, because we have a lot of energy. That's probably a mistake though. Really, hitting the energies is more important. So I will play the mail here. Ranger or Fisherman or energy retrieval. I'm going to go with Fisherman because we will have a lot of stuff in our discard pile. Well, no, I don't want to necessarily be locked into using him for a supporter. So we'll take the energy retrieval. We can use it to steam up some extra times. It won't that way use up a supporter. We hit both elixirs, so that's nice. And then we'll go ahead and bench the Shaymin. Let's see where we go from here. We get another Volcanion, we get the Sky Field, so we'll go ahead, play our 1 Sky Field, bench the additional Volcanion, and we have an in for next time. Don't think we need to play the energy retrieval now, so we'll go ahead and pass. So we're gonna end next time around, hoping for Float Stone. We'll also try to Pokemon Catcher against any. I guess I should clarify. So if we're able to find a way to switch, we will want to pull him back and attack with this guy. And we also would like to have that attack be against an EX. It's moderately helpful to knock out a baby Volcanion, but not enough so that I want to stick one of ours up there. So if we don't have switch cards in play, I will probably pass on that. I'll go ahead and bench this Volcanion as well. That was actually a mistake. I think we would have rather saved that spot for Volcanion-EX or Shaymin. So my mistake, my bad, whoops. We'll go ahead and steam up. And I'm going to try the Pokemon Catcher. We didn't hit it. In. So I'm debating a little bit on if we want to steam up some more times with our baby Volcanion, have him doing more damage, and we can play the energy retrieval to make that happen. We're not ever going to need to steam up against anything that we're trying to knock out. So I guess I'll go ahead and do that so that our baby Volcanion is doing more damage if we end up attacking with him. And then we'll play the end. Okay, so we do get a Volcanion-EX. We do get a Float Stone. We do get Pokemon Catcher. So the question is, how do we want to go about this? Since we don't have that manual attachment, we don't really need to worry about the baby yet. I'm hesitant to attach a Float Stone to the baby. I think that's going to be better played on our active, or on our attacker. It seems kind of silly to play the Pokemon Catcher at this point, because doing some damage to his EX is not going to help us. We don't need to Ultra Ball. We don't need to get rid of anything. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and Power Heater and attach 1 and 2. And it's probably kind of overkill to have this full of bench in a mirror match, since we are going to hit for weakness against everything. It lets our baby Volcanion do a little bit more work, and I see now we hit the 110 mark. We should have played the Pokemon Catcher and tried to target the Shaymin. We could have gotten that knockout and made that hit meaningful. So that was definitely a mistake. The one place that steaming up would have helped us. I doubt that that'll cost us the game, but it was definitely a little bit of pain that I messed that up. So he's already accepted that he is not going to manually attach and do it. He's planning on doing another Power Heater. That's good for us. It gives us another turn. So we can. I think chances are pretty good. We got, let's see, 6 energies out, so we've got 5 left in the deck because we know 1 was prized. So I think chances are pretty good that we'll get one when we play the Sycamore. So I'm going to play the Pokemon Catcher, and we're going to fail it. So that's a little annoying. Again, I don't think we want to move our Volcanion-EX into the active unless we're attacking. Playing the Trainers Mail, we'll go ahead, grab the Max Elixir. I suppose I could have, well, no, I couldn't have because we would have lost it. So I'm choosing not to Ultra Ball. Well, we don't have enough cards to Ultra Ball. We'd have to discard something we need. We do hit this Elixir, so we can attach that as well. We'll have 2 fully powered up Volcanions. Play our Sycamore down. I was kind of hoping we'd get some more Float Stones, but we didn't. I'm going to go ahead and Ultra Ball 1 and 2 just to thin our deck a little bit more. But we don't need the Shaymin. I don't think we want the Shaymin even at this point, because once he takes a KO, we would be able to bench it for some extra draw later, but we may need to play a Sycamore between now and then. So we don't need to manually attach there. If we do a manual attachment here, it's good, but let's see. How far are we from a knockout here? We need 2 steam ups to get a knockout there, but we can play the letter as well. So I'll go ahead with the manual attachment here to ensure that we can retreat next time. That was silly. We're gonna die. Oh well. I guess I wasted an attachment. But we will take a knockout on his baby Volcanion as well. So there's at least that. So we'll go ahead now and power heater for the knockout. It won't matter too much, but we will go ahead and get that in there. Take one prize card. Oh, and it's a Lysandre. That was one of the things we prized, and that's going to be a useful prize to have, because now we'll be able to, on the next turn, no matter what happens, we can knock out the Volcanion that he has that has max energy. He may be doing the same to us, and unfortunately, oh, he doesn't. But he does play an in. So it's good that we thinned out our deck with the Ultra Balls, just for discards last time. We've got VS Seekers, we have the Lysandre in there. I said no matter what, we're knocking out his big Volcanion, and then he played an in, which could have changed that story. It didn't, though. We're going to go ahead and be able to make that play now. So he sets up a fresh baby Volcanion, and that's, to me, that seems like it might be an error. He doesn't need to do that to knock out our Volcanion. So he's doing that as a way to get an energy onto other things there, but I think that's a bit of a mistake. We're going to go ahead and play the one that already has the Float Stone, even though we're also going to attach a Float Stone immediately. I don't think there's any need to play the Trainers Mail. If we hold on to them, they can be an out if he ends us again. So we will just go ahead and take out this guy. Volcanic Heat for the weakness knockout. And take 2 more prizes. Get that other Max Elixir. And so next turn, again, we'll get the knockout on this Volcanion. After that, we'll only have 1 prize left to take. And we'll have a setup Volcanion-EX ready to do it. So we have 6, 7, 10 energies out. We're going to play the Max Elixir no matter what. I'm just curious how likely it is to hit. I thought it might miss. So the mail, I think we're going to go ahead and Trainers Mail. And so here I'm torn between the Fisherman and the Pokemon Ranger, but I guess we'll play the Ranger. Like we said, being able to steam up isn't that important. He's not going to be able to knock us out next turn, so I think being able to attack again next turn is going to be very important. And we'll hold that. So we'll go ahead and Volcanic Heat, get this knockout, and then I could be wrong, but I'm inclined to say that no matter what he does, he'll try to end us if he can. Get another energy, not that it will matter. So how many steam ups do we need to do to knock out this baby? We'd have to do 2. He plays an in. And we get just the Sky Field. I didn't factor in the Fighting Fury belt when I chose the Pokemon Ranger last turn, and I should have, because we would have liked to have. I'm gonna bench the Shaymin, get some cards. We would have liked to have had energy in the deck to allow for steam ups while still playing the Pokemon the Ranger. So we can't both Lysandre a Shaymin and take the KO with our Volcanion. We can't attack currently, so I think what we're gonna do is manually attach here. Manually attach here. We will retreat into the baby. This is going to be bad if it goes poorly, but and then I think I want pretty much the Sycamore. We don't need the Ranger anymore. So we'll get rid of a bunch of cards that we can't play. Did I manually attach to the baby Volcanion? If we Sycamore now, thins our deck so that we can A, get a Float Stone on, have the Escape Rope if we need it. Actually, we can play that. So we could play it. He's just going to send the other baby Volcanion up. That won't help us. So I think we just power heater. Well, no, it does help us if the other baby, because he can't do 100 damage with the other one. So we make that play. Now we're forced to send something up. Now's where we wish we hadn't done that manual attachment. I think we have to go with the Volcanion that can retreat. We now will be able to use the VS Seeker to get to our Ranger, because we're still not getting a knockout here. But if we do that, well, I've already done it. We probably, this was probably a mistake. So we'll take this. Oh, and I get the knockout because we're hitting for weakness. I said that in the beginning, and then I was sitting here thinking we had to steam up. I don't know why. So that was way too much work doing something that should have been easy to do, because I made the mistake of forgetting that we were water type. I'm sure people out there were yelling at their screen saying, "Why are you going through all this? You don't need to steam up at all." So I could have just played, I had the Ranger in hand at one point, didn't I? I could have just played that and then ended it immediately. Anyway, we'll get one more match. Okay, we're against grass. So we hit for weakness again. Hopefully I remember that this time. And the question is, are we going to get item locked? Getting item locked before we've established any float stones could be a bit of a pain. We get to go first at least, so we get at least one turn. And we'll get some extra cards. Always like that. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and so right away I can say we're going to look at his cards. He is playing a plume deck, so that's annoying. We need to be a little careful what we bench now, because if we go through the standard line of Hoopa, Shaymin, and all the rest, we can run into problems from him having lots of things that he can Lysandre out as targets. So I'm inclined to think that For once, we don't want to do the Hoopa play. We're definitely going to Ultra Ball. I'm trying to decide what we're going to Ultra Ball for. If we want to just get a Volcanion, I'm really inclined to do that. We'll probably end up getting one Shaymin as well with the other Ultra Ball. But I don't think we want to do Hoopa and just go crazy. I think we want to be careful what we bench so that we don't get stuck fighting with them having something stuck in the active. I'm almost inclined not to bench a Shaymin at all, but it's just 2 prizes, and if it helps us set up faster, it's worth it, I think. So go ahead, we do hit that elixir. Since we're saying we're gonna bench the Shaymin, we probably should have gone ahead and actually gotten him before we played the elixir. I was just too distracted thinking my thoughts. So we'll go ahead. Part of the reason I'm going ahead and doing the Shaymin play too is that we want to get float stones if we can, and that's our best chance. So we're going to manually attach. I'm going to manually attach to the Volcanion-EX, hoping that he's set up for a quick attack next turn. So at the very least, we would be able to do a manual attachment next turn. We're going to put this float stone on baby Volcanion. What energy? We have 1 energy down there. Since we're playing Vileplume, I'm going to go ahead and grab it. Again, steaming up isn't going to be important since we're hitting almost everything for weakness. And if we have to fight their Lugia or Taurus, then we'll have energy. I'm going to go ahead and play the VS Seeker as well to get back. So we have another Lysandre in the deck. I should have checked to make sure it was there. I think it's more important to get back a Lysandre, though, be able to choose our target when we retreat. So we'll do that. And then we'll go ahead and take a pass. We may also look at, we'll run the numbers depending on what we're facing, remembering that we hit a lot of things for weakness. We'll look and see if so steaming up will hit for 100 with a baby Volcanion. Because obviously being able to do an attachment to him and to our Volcanion-EX both next turn would be nice. So we'll see where it leaves us at that point. Not sure if there's anything meaningful we could knock out with just 1 steam up. Probably be better to, I don't know, it's really close between whether we want to, wow, he gets the item lock that quickly. We're sort of better set up than he is, so I'm almost inclined to just leave the item lock in place and take a knockout on his Shaymin. We'll make him drop the DCE. So I'm gonna do that. So if we get another Lysandre, so we can KO the other Shaymin when we're able to attack. If that happens, it probably won't, but we don't have free retreat, we can't attach us, but we messed him up because he no longer was able to set up. So I think we made the right decision pulling the Lysandre in. I think we made the right decision leaving the item lock in place because he's locked, and we're sort of already set up. We have to wait a turn in between attacks, but you know, we're not stuck with a handful of items that we can't play. So item lock worked for us as a Volcanion player. That's nice. With that, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up for today. I think we made a few errors, specifically, obviously, missing the weakness and in that second match. But hopefully it was pretty good overall, and I'll come back. And as I said before, deck list in the description. Let me know if you have any questions. We'll be continuing with Volcanion throughout the week. I don't know that I'm going to be posting, I don't know what my posting schedule will be because this is just sort of a hobby. But yeah, with that, we'll wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Thanks for any questions or comments you can offer. Ta-ta.